From Richmond Brothers, financial advisor, CEO, and co-owner, Matt Curfman. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Bart. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you again.
Happy Thanksgiving week.
Well, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving week as well to you.
Thank you.
I can't believe it's Thanksgiving already.
The holidays are upon us.
Yeah, are you one of those millions that will be traveling for Thanksgiving?
We will be traveling, but not via plane, just in the vehicle. So I'm sure we'll run into some traffic. Not far away, Indiana.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
It turns out the TSA and the air traffic controllers ranks are now fully staffed, according to Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary. So it'll be busy, but hopefully it'll be smoother than it was, say, a couple weeks ago.
Smooth and efficient.
Yeah.
I was actually traveling through the airport on the day that the government canceled a whole bunch of flights.
Oh, nice.
But our flight was good coming back from Austin. We actually had an Ed Slott tax law event. But there's mechanical issues, so we ended up having a 4 or 5 hour delay. Everyone thought it was the government shutdown, but it was just mechanics.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, build extra time into your travel plans. So Thanksgiving, everyone, a lot of families will be all together, and a lot of people they set some rules on what they're going to talk about.
Sure.
Or what they can't talk about at Thanksgiving. Maybe instead of rules, maybe you have an idea of what the conversation could include during the holidays.
Sure. Maybe we start with the first thing that you said, that maybe we all just avoid politics, perhaps, at family gatherings this year. No, there's just a lot of noise there, and so as families get together, we see in the financial world, a lot of uncertainty can happen, and it's a very uncomfortable conversation, and most people aren't raised to talk about finances. So kind of through the idea or through the lens of helping the family understand or have more clarity as opposed to ambiguity when it comes to, like, what if, with respect to mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, like what if someone gets a car accident and they're in a coma? In my world in finances, we can't do anything unless someone brings us a durable power of attorney. You still own your IRA if you're alive, but you're in a coma. So who can act on your behalf? So just in general, having light discussions, it sounds like it's a heavy topic, but even just have mom and dad done the planning, and where are the documents, who's in charge of medical, who's in charge of financial, and just, you don't have to share numbers. We don't have to get into all that, but just like, what if something bad happens? Like, what's our family plan?
No need to bring up dollars and how much or who was getting or any of that.
Yeah, I don't think that's probably necessary, but it is rare that families can all get together, especially if there's multiple kids and multiple generations. So to the extent that whether Thanksgiving or Christmas or anywhere in between, you're getting together, rather than talking about politics or other things, you're probably going to sit down, hopefully have a nice meal, have extra time, and everyone's going to be there, or a large amount. And we shared this on the break, but we tell our clients, if you have all your estate planning documents done, throw in our business card and tell whoever opens that folder to just reach out and call Richmond Brothers, because the parents have guided us, and we know what their wishes are, and we've worked with them on their documentation. So it's just, even that is a step.
Everything's with you. It's not in shoe boxes and file folders and under the bed scattered throughout the house.
It still may be, and it's real important with both taxes and with estate planning documents. I think recently in the last year maybe, there's a really big headline that the Aretha Franklin estate was contested, and it went on, and they ended up finding a crunched up piece of paper inside of a couch cushion. And because there was no legal documentation, the judge ended up using that as the last will and testament. It was handwritten. And these are millions and millions of dollars. Well, it doesn't ever have to get to that. And that's public because it's a celebrity and because people want to know. It doesn't have to be a public record. So if you plan right, make sure you're working with your estate planning attorneys, make sure you're working with your tax professionals. But at Richmond Brothers, we do more than just investment advice, and we help counsel on that. And we kind of talk about, I think we sent something over about the 5 pillars.
The 5 pillars. We've talked about this a few times. Yeah, the 5 pillars. These are essentially the roadmap that you guys.
Yeah, yeah, and in retirement, first and foremost, make sure you have an income plan, Social Security, pensions, portfolio draw, maybe part-time work. Investment planning is just what's in your portfolio, and oftentimes people focus so much on that, they lose sight of these other four pillars. And so we're talking a lot right now about the legacy planning and kind of tax planning. And under legacy, that's your wills, your trusts, your durable power of attorney, advanced medical directives, maybe a ladybird deed for your home, which is a way to name a beneficiary in Michigan. But again, working with professionals on these topics. And then once it's all done, you can just say, hey, call Matt, call Richmond Brothers, or whoever you're working with, because they can help the beneficiaries figure it all out.
So to keep the conversation light, nobody should be giving advice at the dinner table, right?
Yeah, we don't need to go down that loophole. But again, it's just a time where hopefully a lot of family are together. And I always like the simple question, what if? And in this case, what if something happens to mom? What if something happens to dad? And I've maybe shared this with you, but even in my direct family, my mother passed away when she was 36 and I was 10. This was in 1990. My father remarried, and they're coming up on 35 years next year, but my stepmother of that time has advanced dementia. And so, we've, of course, I've had these conversations with my dad on who can respond on mom's behalf if she has retirement accounts, who can make healthcare, financial decisions. So they're heavy topics, but they're very real and they affect a lot of families. And just having clarity and confidence and just knowing who to talk to or what to do, super important.
And you don't have to do all this at the table or watching football. You can just start the thing and then make plans to, let's get together next week and maybe dig deeper into this.
Yeah, and I know we have a month before even Christmas. We're not even to Thanksgiving yet, but again, you get around January 1st, and what do people start to do? New Year's resolutions.
Oh, it's that time, yeah.
So again, that's a perfect opportunity. It seems like a weird resolution, but I can't tell you how many people we talk to that come to us either looking for a second opinion or saying, hey, look, I'm working with an advisor and I'm mostly getting my investment advice, but I have this old will, and we talked about this too, like beneficiary forms on your portfolio win over anything you have in your will.
They supersede your will.
They supersede your will. So I'm dealing with a case right now where someone drew up this extensive will and listed 17 benefactors in this will. They had a portfolio, never shared the will. We didn't know about it. No one knew about it. And the beneficiary documents did not say the same thing. And guess what happens? Beneficiary document wins. So
same with the life insurance.
Yeah, life insurance, the same thing. And this happens a lot. Like, think of life events, like if you change jobs, if you get divorced, if you become a widow or widower, there's a lot of life circumstances that affect. We should review this planning and what you want to have happened. And in our world, we see a lot of the other side of it, and we work with the families through the tougher circumstances when someone has passed or there has been a divorce, or just trying to talk about uncomfortable things in a way that's meant for clarity and getting rid of the ambiguity so that everyone knows where things are going.
All right, think about that. Now we've got, 5 weeks left in the year. Are there some things people can do before the year runs out in terms of, let's take charitable giving?
Yeah, actually, I was watching in the green room your last host and nonprofit work and charitable giving. So one really, really strong piece in the tax code that still exists, even after ABBA, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed, is QCDs, Qualified Charitable Distribution Planning. So anyone who is 70 and 1/2 or older can pull funds directly from their IRA and have them sent directly to a qualified nonprofit, like a 501c3 registered entity, like locally. We've done a lot of work with the YMCA, Cascades Humane Society. Most churches are 501c3. But you can have money go directly to there, take it out of your IRA, not taxable to you. And if you're 73 and older and you have required minimum distributions that you're required to take out, you can actually use QCDs, Qualified Charitable, to offset that, and you don't owe tax on that money. And it's great for nonprofits. My view is it's one of the best things they have kept in the tax code through all of the changes and through the pandemic, all these things. It's a way for people to continue contributing, and there's a lot of need. I think about all of the federal funding cuts and impacts on like the food pantries, things of that nature, and coming up on the holidays, there's a lot of families in need. So just be aware of that. If you already work with someone, meaning a financial advisor, and you're over 70 and a half, or you know someone who is over 70 and a half and you have an IRA, QCD, 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 Qualified Charitable Distribution Planning.
All right. You mentioned you came back from a slot event, and you're part of the group, the advisor group that he has.
Sure. So yeah, Ed Slott is a nationally renowned CPA, so tax person, but he works specifically with a group of financial advisors, estate planning attorneys, and accountants, all on topics that deal with retirement. And so this summer in July, we just mentioned the acronym ABBA, OBBBA, the One Big Beautiful
Not the
Bill
group,
Act.
not the music group.
No, but you know what, at Ed Slott, they played the Dancing Queen all weekend because, that's their silly way of having fun with the tax code. But there's a new tax code that passed in July, and so again, qualified charitable distributions, and there's a few other pieces in there that can benefit people in the next couple of years. So it's just highly specialized training that is not necessary, but we think really important, so that we can help families with all these things.
All right. So before you go, maybe you've got a conversation starter, some, line you can get, lay out there and get things going.
Yeah, it could be just, hey, Mom and Dad, I saw Matt on JTV, and he's a financial advisor in Jackson, Michigan, and I heard him say something, Mom, Dad, like, what if one of you were to get in a car accident and you were in a coma? Like, do you have documents in place? Do we need to have this discussion? What if something happened and one of you had chronic illness? What if one of you were to pass away? Like, is there anything we can do to help? Is there, just have that light discussion. And also don't be afraid, don't be fearful if you haven't done this planning. You'd be shocked. And we just talked about Aretha Franklin. People with a lot of money also avoid hard topics. And it doesn't really matter. It's something that needs to happen, and just keep it light.
All right. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the great ideas, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. Matt Curfman, Richmond Brothers, co-owner, CEO, financial advisor, with us on his monthly trip to JTV.